I'm just going to post Sarista. Where is Sarista? There you are. Yep. You're up. And Shibi, I think this is Shibi right here. Yep. So let's take a quick look at Sarista, because she's probably running Fire Weaver. Let's take a quick look. Yep, Fire, Arcane, and Weaver. I'm just waiting for Shibi. I know he's there. Yeah, there he is. He's entered. Let me take a quick look at Christy. This is the best of 3 series. The rules that follow into this match is the class you start with is the class you finish with. And you cannot change these 3 specs that you have. You can change all your traits here. You can change all your utilities. And you can change your weapons, your sigils, your rune, your amulet, anything you'd like. The only thing you cannot change is your class and the 3 specs you have chosen. Perfect. So here we go into game 1. Let me take a quick look at George over here. He's really strong. Actually, he's been in a lot of my competitions. He usually makes it pretty far. He's a good warrior to watch. He's running Rune of Leadership with Demolisher, and he's running Leadership because he knows Christy's going to come hard with the Burning. He's running with Greatsword, Axe, Shield. He's also got Defense, Discipline, and Spellbreaker. So here we go in game 1. It's going to be a tough fight for George. He's got to be careful, and he's got to keep a good eye on those Condis. He's already got the Swirling Winds up to mitigate any damage, any axe throws that he might have at him. Christy's trying to come in for the hard engage right here. This map is annoying for that camera angle. Trying to get the burning down onto George. George doing a good job of mitigating that. He's just trying to W his way out of everything. He finally goes into Rampage to try to turn and burn onto her. He does a good job. Gets him with the rock throw. Big stomp. Christy doing a good job of mitigating. Ooh, George trying to come in hard. But now that he's able to stop. Ooh, he's got 6 stacks of burning. He was able to clear it. He's got a full counter that he was able to land. Tries to get the arcing slice but doesn't get it. Christy looks like she's in a good position here. He's gonna go down. 17 health. I don't know how he's surviving off that, but he does. Ends up going down. Christy gets the first win. So here we go into game 2, guys. Someone shouted your Twitch in arena. Prepare your butt. Okay, thank you so much. So here we go into game 2. Let's see if George made any changes to his build. He does have the Brawler's Recovery. He did make this change over here, class in Lesser Endure Pain. So here we go into game 2, guys. George is trying to come in and aggressive and see if he goes for that Bull's Charge. No, he goes for the Rush, which was a really good, almost like a bait. Thinking it's the Bull's Charge, he automatically dodged and would put up the Swirling Winds immediately. So that was really good on his part. Just by using a basic Greatsword 5 skill, he was able to make her use a lot of utility. He gets her in the interrupt, tries to get to 100 blades, a little slow on the 100 blades. He's got his shield block up. He does have his full counter if he so chooses to use it. He goes for the Bull's Charge. He does get the land, but the burning is just too hard on George. He's got to be really, really attentive on that. He's got to make sure that he doesn't. That's just too much. So Christy ends up going down. Our next match in this series is going to be Guns Trek versus Bianca. So he moves forward in the tournament. I'll post the, that was Shibi. He's a really good warrior. And this is a small mini tourney. Like I said, guys, there's only about 12 participants in this one. I wasn't even going to do one initially when it first started, but there was a couple of people that asked me. I finished work really late. I got home at like 11:30, and I only gave people 1 hour of notice. But there was a couple of people that were whispering me saying, no tourney today, no tourney today. So I was like, you know what? Let me just keep with the rhythm and put up the tourney. And I ended up, thankfully, only getting 12 people. I didn't want too many. I ended up kicking a couple people, so I didn't want too many. There is going to be no third place. It's just going to be the first and second. It's 100 gold, 60 to first, 40 to second. Now where's Gun's trick? I'll give him a minute. So Arathon did enter. He's running a Spellbreaker over here. He's got Discipline Defense with Spellbreaker. He's also running, he does run this with the Defiant Stance. He's well known for running this. He's really good. He's gotten really good at using it. He's also running Dagger with Shield. He's got Great Sword with Rune of Leadership and Demolisher. Let's take a look at Aos Eternal right here. He's running Dagger, Warhorn, Scepter with Torch. He's got Balthazar with Sage Amulet. He's running Blood Magic, Curses, and Scourge. Interesting. Now, Arathorn should not have the advantage in this fight. Usually it goes to the Necro, but it can swing either way if they're not careful with the big CCs. Good dodge by Aos, putting up the Ghastly Breach right away. Arathorn taking a lot of damage. He does have his resistance up, so he's able to put a lot of pressure onto Bianca. Bianca mitigating a lot of damage, and she has that Spectral Walk. Great move by Bianca, creating that distance and being able to put some counter pressure onto Arathorn. And he can't put any pressure onto her while she's doing that because she does have the advantage of terrain. He tries to get the Arcing Slice. It looks like he went for the Bull's Charge. No, he doesn't have Bull's Charge. It was probably the Rush. He did use his heal already. This is a pretty tight match. It's pretty toe-to-toe right now. Arathorn has gone through a couple of his cooldowns. Aos is doing a really good job of mitigating most of his damage. Really, really impressive. She's got the, I believe the Trail of Anguish. Yes, that's what it's called. Now, Arathorn goes into Rampage. Good job by Aos. She does have the Spectral Walk. She's not using it just yet. Just trying to kite him into it a little more. Arathorn's in big trouble here. He's got a lot of Condi. He's able to get that big CC onto Aos, putting the damage. He gets that rush. But it's not a Bull's Charge, so he's not able to get that CC on her and put down the pressure that he needs to. He's in big trouble here. Let's take a look at his heal. It's 21 seconds away, so that's already expired. Aos is doing a really good job mitigating most of this damage. And as I mentioned, it mainly goes to the advantage to the Necro in most of these matches, unless Arathorn can get some heavy burst onto him. But he wasn't able to do that. And here he goes trying to get some big damage. He tries to go for that. I think that was the Arcing Slice. Not the Arcing Slice, but the... I forgot the name. He does have his heal back up. There's only 20 seconds left in the map mechanic. Bianca's got to be really careful. Good sustain by Arathorn. She puts up the Ghastly Breach. He's standing all up in it right now, but he does have resistance up for a good amount of time. It's just expired now. Now, Eos is in a really, really bad spot. Does she have any cooldowns? Her heal's not there. No, that's Arathorn. That takes it. Really good job by Arathorn, adjusting throughout the fight. Really good job, guys. The next match after this, just so I can prepare the other people, is Malak versus Ermagerd. Sorry, guys, I'm just writing to them in the map chat. Give me one moment. So we take a quick look at Ermagerd. No, I don't know Ermagerd's in there. Okay, perfect. Now there goes Aos Internal. Perfect, thank you so much for that. Let me take a quick look at Arathorn. I gotta keep an eye on him. I know he can be kind of sneaky. A lot of people obey the rules. I just run on the honor system pretty much. I don't check too much, but I do have a couple dudes in stream that are pretty attentive to these things, and they whisper me right away if things do happen. Oh my god, he's just really trolly. I usually have problems with him at most of my tourneys, but I'm happy he's actually going on with this one. Last time he had to delay a bit, and then all of a sudden when he's about to start his match, someone came to the door. Just a lot of weird stuff coming from him. So here we go, Erathon trying to engage right now really quickly. He's doing a good job of mitigating. He just used a lot of his dodge and a lot of his mitigation, so he's pretty much ripe for the picking. He did use his resistance, which is a big way for him to open up. He does have a lot of Condi still ticking. The Torment is really sticking. There's a lot of Condi cover on top of him. He's got the... that's a really nice combo by the Arathorn does. What he first does is use his resistance, and then after he gets a lot of stacks of Condi on him, what he'll do is he'll use his heal right after. So then that heal will actually heal him right back up. Really clever move on his part. Hey Goran, how are you, buddy?
Hey, dude.
And that's Arathorn Stark that takes that second round. Now up, we're gonna have Malak versus Ermagerd. You want to do some ranked after this tourney, Goran?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, this tourney shouldn't be really long. There's only 12 of us in here. I'm not doing a second place either.
For sure.
So it's Arathorn Stark that moves on. I'll post the brackets for you guys again in the Twitch in case any of you haven't seen it and you'd like to follow along with me. There's something weird going on in my apartment right now. So you see my face right there? I got some weird lady crying outside. I don't know what's going on, but really weird. I don't know if they're outside my window or outside in the hallway of my apartment. But hold on, let me just...
She's probably watching your stream.
Hold on, guys, 1 second. I'm going to make sure that... Sorry guys, I'm back. I don't know what it is. I think it's a lover's quarrel that's going on in my hallway over there in my apartment building. I did get a couple messages on my phone, so I was wondering maybe someone was messaging me. I'm like the handyman in my building, so usually people, if there's an issue, they'll call me or they'll message me, so I thought maybe something was going on, but it wasn't. It was actually my buddy telling me that he was going to be late for work tomorrow. So anyways, that's over. I'm doing it. Sorry guys, I'm going to get right back into it. Let me take a quick look at over here what the Hollow-Smith is running. He's got the Melisher with Rune of Leadership, which is really key for Hollows, as they don't have too much in Condi Clear. He's running Alchemy Tools and Hollow-Smith. Let's take a look at Ermagerd right now. She's in under some heavy pressure right now. I think that's Malak. I haven't seen him in too many of my tournaments, but he's doing a really good job. Ermagerd is a pretty strong Revenant, so this is actually quite a stunning performance right now. And the Ermagerd doesn't join too much of my tourneys, but she does spectate a lot of them, so I really appreciate her joining this one. It's kind of a late night mini one, so it's probably what attracted her to come. Not too much pressure. And that's Alec Cachet who takes game 1. Thorn Stark being the cheerleader in map chat. So guys, just responding to a whisper. Let's see if Ermagerd makes any changes to her build. I wasn't sure if she's running staff, sword. Yeah, classic. No annulment. Usually you'll see Revenant running with annulment or something. You usually see a lot of people in 1v1s running an annulment. Oh. Hold on guys, maybe I have to make a little adjustment over here. Yeah, I do have to make an adjustment. It was actually Cerise that won. And it was Shibi that lost. Thank you for that correction. I really appreciate that. take a look at Ermagerd really quick. She has gone for Rooted Leadership with Marauder. I guess a little more vitality. You gotta be really careful for Malak. In my opinion, right now, Hollow-Smiths are the strongest class that you have right now. They're just, the skill cap is so low, the skill ceiling is so low. It's really easy to play. There's absolutely nothing really involved with it. It's CC, Photon Burst, Photon Blitz, and then 1-1-1-1-1-1-1. Ermagerd getting a really good burst up onto, and that's what Alec Cachet's got to be careful for, because even though Ermagerd seems like she's far away, she can easily port right back onto him and put the heavy damage. She tried to avoid that shockwave, but unfortunately she ended up dodging backwards. And the shockwave is kind of a pulsing CC that starts from the NG and moves outwards. So as she rolled back, she actually rolled into the shockwave. So it's usually ideal to dodge sideways or dodge towards the Hollowsmith, depending on if they have Corona Burst or not, because Corona Burst can be very deadly. You can do 12k by just doing nothing. Good job by Ermagerd right now, trying to just sustain. She did pop her glint heal, which was a good job, but you want to stay kind of close. Sorry guys, I'm just whispering. Anyone wanted to join, but unfortunately the brackets are closed. But if there is someone that doesn't make it, I'll allow Anya to join. Ooh, good job by this is a really good fight right now. There's only 5 seconds left to the map mechanic. She has used her glint heal already. Alec has used he just used his healing turret, so it's a really good timing. Ermagerd's got to be really careful for the AoE. This is the map mechanic that you see here, guys. Good job by Ermagerd. She's got to be really careful with that AoE, not fall into it. Really good job. She's just going to let the AoE do the rest of the work. Oh, she's got to be really careful. Oh, Lord. Really good job by Ermagerd. That was actually a really good fight back and forth. I'm sorry I wasn't able to shoutcast the entire thing. There was a lot of distractions going on. That guy whispering from me from work saying his hand is infected. He has to go to the hospital. This weird couple quarreling in the hallway over here. And a bunch of people messaging me. So I apologize for that. So this is going to have a game 3 right now. Ermagerd versus... This is going to be really good. Let me take a quick look at Alec. I don't think he's made any changes. He's still got Cleansing with Energy. He's got Leadership with Demolisher. I don't think he's made any changes up here. Doesn't look like he's made any changes over here. It's still the same in Hollow. Let me take a quick look at Ermagerd. Invocation, still the same. It looks the same. Maybe you guys know anything different. I think she was running Herald at the beginning. Yep. And she actually went with annulment this time. Annulment's really nice, especially on a Hollow. If he doesn't have too many buffs on him, you can usually wait for his Corona Burst to rip that stability off. So just swap into Sword, have that annulment, you take 2 boons, usually you'll grab the stability. And then she can kind of open him up a little more, especially when he's already under the impression that he has stability and he can't go down. So when you're able to swap swords, take the stability off, and then you really get the ability to open it. She actually landed that binding... I forgot what was that called. Shackling Wave, I think it is. She landed that Shackling Wave really good on Alex, which is kind of hard to land. But Alex has got to be careful because, as I mentioned, Ermagerd can easily port to him. He actually gets her in the overcharge shot, but it was kind of a waste. You usually want to save the CCs for your big openers. She mitigates that big shockwave. CC breaks out of that that prime light beam, so he doesn't have much left, but his cooldowns are really short. So let's take a quick look. Overcharge is almost coming back up. I'm sure Shockwave is right back up. The cooldowns are just really fast on a Hollowsmith. Really good play by Ermagerd, mitigating all the damage and forcing him to use the Elixir S. And now this is the position. She tried to get the Glint Elite. It was a little too early on the Elixir S. Alex tried to get his combo for his healing turret up. Good stun by Ermagerd. That was really impressive play. Really nice comeback. She kind of started to get into her own after the first match. Feel out the opponent just a bit. That was a 2-1 series, guys. Now it's going to be Dark Opium versus Celeste. Celeste? Really good job by Immergerd. Kudos to you. Really good recovery, really good. Sometimes it's not even that you have to change your build, it's more of your play style or your strategy in engaging the opponent. Your build can be perfectly fine, but sometimes it's just your strategy and gameplay. And that's what you see coming from really high tier players. Sometimes they don't change the build, it's just their play style. So he's running Root of the Resistance, he knows he's running against the Fire Weaver, so he's going to be careful, and he's also got Marauder for the extra health. Sexy Hazard is a very strong opponent. He's been in a lot of my tournaments. He has won a couple of them, so he's definitely definitely going to see him in the semifinals unless Christy is able to eliminate him. She did really impressive against Shibby in her first round, or his first round, I'm not sure, in their first round. But this is going to be a tall order for Christy right now, because Sexy Hazard is no joke. He is a very dominant player. Let's take a quick look at, I already looked at, he was running Invocation Devastation and Herald. We saw Christy in the first round. She was running Fire Weaver, Arcane, and Weaver, or Fire, Arcane, and Weaver, Sage, Amulet, and Runic Sanctuary. I wasn't sure if she was running Sage. I think she was. Yeah, definitely was running Sage. She's got the focus with the sword, and it's the Candy Cane sword. Good job by Christy. Using this area right here in the map is a no port zone, as well as the two spawn areas are no port spots, so you cannot get up them. And knowing that really well, Christy taking that to the full advantage, getting some big damage on by Sexy Hazard, but able to mitigate that easily. She's got to try to stack some burns up, because usually Revenants don't have too much in the Condi clans. Actually gets him in the Glint Elite. Really good job. It is such a huge animation and very obvious. It's really hard to land it, but really good job by Sexy Hazard by landing that. Now this is where the tide kind of switches a bit. She's got to be careful, because he just uses Glint Heal, and some Revenants will actually come in to engage onto the Ellie, wait for the big burning stacks, and then clear, and then go for the Glint Heal. This way you'll get all the heal that you need. We actually saw that Anya doing that yesterday. It was really smart plays from Anya. If you want to watch that, it's in my highlights videos, guys. This is a really good fight right now. He's got too much burning and too much Condi. He's actually able to mitigate it, but he's only at 1%, and down he goes. So that's Christy who takes game one. A very stellar performance from Christy, especially considering Dark Hazard is a Sexy Hazard is a very strong opponent and has won some of these tournaments against very strong people. That was the I'm getting swatted stream face. Yeah, that was a really good fight, guys. This is going to be game two. Let me take a look at Dark Opium. I don't know why. Was this Christy? Yeah, okay. Let me take a look at Sexy Hazard really quick to see if he does make any changes in his build. It doesn't look like it. He's ready to go. Maybe he did here? No. No. I don't think Christy made any changes, but Fireweaver has been a really strong class recently, and a lot of people are starting to turn to it. Once again, guys, I want to thank you for following. If you like this type of content, check out my highlights videos. I've been twitching for a little over 3 weeks now, and I put on tournaments every single day. So if you like this stuff, click that follow or click that subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys. Here we go on to game two. Christy had a pretty stellar performance, pretty dominating over Sexy Hazard. I wasn't expecting that, but she did destroy Shibby at the first round. He was a warrior who's kind of susceptible to Condi, but Shibby is also a really good warrior, and that was a really good performance on Christy's part as well. Tries to put up the swirling winds just to try to mitigate any port. Goes to the no port spot as well to try to mitigate the opener. Really good job. He's just playing a little bit of mind games, trying to get into the mind of Sexy Hazard, keeping him honest, making sure that he can't just come in free will, nilly-willy if you will, do whatever he wants. Once again, back to the no port. Sexy Hazard just kind of playing it slow, staying far away, and that's the thing you really want to do for a Fire Weaver. If you can stay at a distance from a Fire Weaver and you have some range, that is your biggest advantage. Just not staying close. They have like a 300 to 400 radius where it becomes very deadly if you're within that range. As you can see, as soon as Sexy Hazard went in for the engage, he took the brunt of that exchange. Christy coming out on top. Now he's trying to close the gap again. I really hate this camera angle. Now Sexy just trying to mitigate and run. He might be waiting for the map mechanic where he can actually get a little bit of an advantage, but it doesn't really go to the advantage of them. The only real advantage is that LAs can't misform when it comes down to the map mechanic, because it's a sort of a heal, I would assume. They just can't do it. And also, if you wait to the map mechanic, Christie has a lot of barrier, as you can see, and that becomes a huge, huge factor when the map mechanic comes up, because there's no healing that's allowed. But the barrier is almost like a heal, pretty much. Pops up the swirling winds. Now Sexy Hazard can easily pour it up, and it definitely looks like he's waiting for the timer so he can actually get his burst down. Let me take a look at his cooldowns. He actually engaged a little bit, and a smart tactic to do in this map as well is just before the timer is to put some heavy pressure onto your opponent and keep their health down so they can't heal when the timer does come up. He actually lands the glint heal. This is exactly what you want to see. Keeping the heavy pressure and trying to get the damage, or at least getting them to use a cooldown. They should be using any heal or any sort of heal that they do have accessible to them. Ooh, Christie Sexy Hazard standing in the AoE. The AoE does a lot of damage, and this is what he was waiting for. Kind of for the timer, he's blowing all his cooldowns. Everything he has, he's just unloading as much as he can, and hopefully he can get some sort of big burst or land something big. But Christie doing a really good job of mitigating most of it. You see the swirling winds up. She did go into Earth really quick. Really good job. Sexy Hazard's in a lot of trouble right here. He's actually able to put some big damage, mitigate a lot of it on his own, but no, he ends up going down. He can still get the pushback. Oh my god, that was so close. Christie responding really, 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 really quickly. That was really clutch on Christie's part. My goodness gracious, was that clutch. So that's Christie that takes that. Next up is a Light Doom versus Artemis Flame. Light Up Doom. So here we go. We're already in the quarterfinals now, guys. So here we go. No, it's not Armor Grid. It's Light Up Doom. Dark. Whoops. Devil's Tracker. Artemis Flame is a really, 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 really strong Weaver. She's been playing Weaver for a long time. She actually won one of my competitions. I'm not sure who it was in the finals that she faced, but it was a very strong opponent. She ended up doing really well. Very impressive performance. She's definitely one to watch. So let's see over here. She's got Sword Focus running with Sanctuary and Sage. Classic from the Weaver. Let's take a quick look at Dark. What did I say his name was? Let me take a quick look, guys. Sorry. Light of Doom. Sorry. Light of Doom is running Rune of Earth with Demolisher. Very interesting. He's got Axe with Great Sword. He's actually running Soul Beast, Nature Magic, and Wilderness. Interesting, interesting, interesting. I'm very curious to see how this goes. Muddy Terrain, Quickening Zephyr, and Lightning Reflex. He's also got one Wolf Pack, which he's got to be very attentive for. Once the one wolf pack is popped, you really got to watch out. That's usually indicating the burst is coming in. But let's see how he sets that up. Most rangers will use the one wolf pack right away and then go in. Nice using the smoke scale to get into stealth. Trying to get the big damage on Artemis, but Artemis is a very skilled weaver. So trying to get some big condi or trying to get some big damage, which he's able to do there, but he didn't get the better of the exchange. He wasn't even able to get Troll Engine off. Good job by Artemis. He tried to go in for the damage, but he ended up getting a lot of counterplay against him. He did pretty good. He ended up bringing the Weaver down a bit, but that was probably only because the Weaver was trying to counter DPS back at him. Really good job. And what's his name again? God damn it. My memory is so shitty right now. Light of Doom. And don't beat yourself up, Light of Doom. I'm not sure if you're in Twitch. Artemis is a really dominant Weaver. So here we go into game 2. Let's see if Light of Doom has made any changes. He was really slow on the Troll Engine. You could have give him a little more sustain and give him a little more condi cover. Or condi clear. These Weavers don't end up having a lot of condi cover. All of their condi cover is really short duration. Or it's like bleeding or poison. And it's pretty easy to get the burning if you are careful. Our next match after this is actually going to be me versus Gunstrick. I don't have the advantage against the Warrior, so it's going to be a really tough fight. I'm running my Guardian today. Artemis doing a really good job of keeping the pressure onto Devils. Devils doing a really good job of mitigating most of the condi. He does have his Quickening Zephyr. He uses the Lightning Reflexes to back away. Ugh, this camera angle. He's taking a lot of damage right now. He does have some burning up on him. Nope, he's actually able to clear that. Really good mitigation. Now this is what you want to do, stay at a distance, but he does have melee weapons, so he has no choice but to get close in order to do some damage. Now he's taking a lot of damage from that burning. He's got to be really careful. As I mentioned, there's not a lot of Kundi cover. You just saw the burning and the bleeding. And there's a short cripple duration. And it's pretty much that's all the Condi. Maybe vulnerability, a little bit of chill, but it's a short duration. So if you wait a little bit, you're able to clear that. But her Condi isn't that long either. It just does a lot of damage very, 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 very quickly, which is interesting to see. And down goes Double Trek. Now it is actually going to be Mike versus Gunstruck. I won't have, I don't know if I'm going to do very well in this. Gunstruck is a very good warrior. He's pretty clever on his fights. And I do know when his heal comes up, but he's very kitey and he can get away very easily. We've already seen what Gunstruck is running, so I'll show you what I'm running really quickly over here, guys. I'm running with Rune of the Eagle and Marauder. It's a little different from what you would see from the meta. I'm running with the Sigil of Energy and Agility on my Greatsword and Cleansing. I don't really need Cleansing for this guy. Maybe I'll try some Annulment and see how that goes for me. And I'm also running over here, whoops, wrong button. Maybe I'll do that. I'm going to do a quick vote in the Twitch chat. If you guys, if any of you want to vote, I have Anya over here and she wants to take my spot, which I'm more than willing to give to Anya. Hey, thank you for the host, Grimjack. I really appreciate that. If anybody wants to vote, push 1 if you want Anya to take my spot. Push 1 if you want Anya to take my spot. Oh, it doesn't look like anybody's pushing 1, so it doesn't look like Anya's going to get it. Oh, sorry, Anya. Okay, 1 second. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'm just doing a mini 1v1 tournament today. I wasn't supposed to do one today. I got home from work really, really late, and then a couple people whispered me asking me if the 1v1 was on. I wasn't going to do it. Then I said, you know what? I'm just going to do a really mini one, really quick, only first and second place. There's about 12 participants in here. So here we go. It's going to be me versus Arathorn Stark. I have a little bit of a disadvantage going against these warriors. I just got to be really careful. I know he doesn't run Bull's Charge. I'm going to try to get him in this Binding Blade right here and just try to keep as much heavy pressure as I can. And I got to keep a very good eye out for his heal. He's going to be using it very, very, very soon here. I'm going to try to put some pressure onto him to try to get him to bait into using it. There it is. And that's exactly what I wanted him to use his heal. Now I'm just going to wait it out, wait it out, wait it out, wait it out. He has finished using it. So I'm just going to try to keep the pressure onto him. He's going to kite from me as much as he can right now because he's in big trouble. I did get him in a Binding Blade, which is really good. He had stability, I believe. Yeah, that's really bad for me. He's just going to kite in now. Oh, there's the Rampage. I got to be very careful about this. He's standing in my symbol, which is exactly what I want him to do while I have renewed focus up. And I got to be really careful because his heal is coming up pretty soon. There's his heal. I gotta be careful for that. Let me just mitigate that. I do have my Shield of Wrath to mitigate, and here comes the Binding Blade. I wasn't able to get him in it. Good job by mitigating that Arathorn again. Can't get him on the Binding Blade. He's just gonna be really trolly and try to ignore me as much as he can. And if it does go into the map mechanic, it's not gonna be in my favor. I gotta be very careful. He tried to get me with the Trailblaze. This is gonna be interesting. It's gonna go into the map mechanic. He gets me with that guy. I got him with the Binding Blade. He goes for his heal. This is big pressure from him. He uses his Endure Pain. Big pressure coming from him. I just wasn't able to keep up with him, and now I'm in a bad, bad, bad spot. He's going to try to pressure me. I'm going to try to counter with everything I have right here. No, and that's it. I got really, really close, and I should have had the down, but I just wasn't able to capitalize. He was able to kite away from me very easily. I did a poor job of keeping up with him, but I should have had that match. It was played really, really well. I was able to get the damage down and bait him into using his heal, but I just wasn't able to capitalize. He ended up, as the match goes farther, it just goes farther and farther away from my advantage. I just wanted to be really quick, but it didn't unfortunately happen that way. So here we go with game 2. And again, like I said, with Warriors, I usually don't have the advantage, but with Arathorn, doesn't have too much in the way of CC, but he does have a lot of burst, and he can cut me down pretty quick. I'm just waiting for Arathorn to ready up. Is that Arathorn in here? Yeah. Takes 2 to Mango. I like that name. Really good. And a lot of people know that I do these tourneys, so you'll see in Spectator a lot of these guys. Naru, Amadis, Anya, they just come to watch. It's just entertaining, something to watch. Anya doesn't put out any content, so I do these every single day, guys. I've been streaming for about 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks now, and I've just been putting them out every single day. I got him with the Binding Blade, which is what I want. Tried the swirling. He does have that stability, which I got to be very attentive for. I'm going to try to get him in my Shield of Wrath here. Oh, he's just too far from it. I didn't get him in the Ray of Judgment. I actually did get him in the Ray of Judgment. I'm just going to try to get some LOS over here. Try to bait him off the hill and port back up. Maybe some Zealot's defense. Put some extra pressure on him while he's over there. I'm waiting for my bind over here. I don't think he has stability. He is going to go for his heal. There it is. I got him in the Binding Blade. Does he have stability? Nope. There's the pull. And I'm using... Endure Pain. I should have waited for that. I forgot he had that. It gets me in the full counter. I preemptively used... he did go into Rampage, but I had my Shield of Wrath up and I had my Zealot's defense. Really dangerous. I don't know how that full counter got me. There's his heal. I got him in the Binding Blade, which is what I want. I'm waiting for his heal to proc off. I should have waited for that shield, and I used his Zealot's defense while he's got his shield up. I'm going to try to catch him in this real Shield of Wrath if I can. Nice. I think I did get him in it. Missed the Binding Blade. His heal should be coming up. He's just really kitey. This is a good spot for me, though. He has his heal up, but the map mechanic is coming, so he doesn't have any sort of... He won't be having any more heals after this. There's that shield. Now this is kind of in my favor a little bit, because of my main source of healing. I'm going to try to get him in this. Oh, I missed that too. He thinks he has healing, but he doesn't. That was really close. I gotta get him before he rampages, that's for sure. Yes, thank the Lord. That was really close. Warriors are really tough for me. They do a lot of damage, but he's not your typical warrior. Hey, thank you for that follow, man. I really appreciate that. Ruthless Bruno. Thank you, guys. When you guys click follow, it really encourages me to keep doing these. And like I said, I've been doing tourneys for a very long time, but this is the first time I bring them to stream. I've been streaming them for almost a little over 3 weeks now. If you check out my highlights videos, that's where all of them are. You'll see every day I do 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s, and I also do Fashion Wars contests every day. Here's Mad City. This is going to be another tough match. I just got to be really attentive. Watch out for his shield so I don't see lots into my face again. Watch for his heal so I don't heal him up. Hey, thank you for that follow, man. Hey, Landon. I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much for that follow. I don't know what's going on with my... Oh, Arathorn said, be ready. This is right. Arathorn, I like him a long time. I like him. We've known each other for a very long time. I did get him in the Binding Blade. Damn it, too far. Actually, he was immune. This is a good spot for me. I'm able to get him in the Ray of Judgment. Oh, I tried to bait. I gotta watch for his heal. There he is. Fuck, he used it already. rampage. Phew, Lord of mercy. Zealots. I'm gonna try to get him in the shield bash again if I can, or the shield of wrath. It does explode, but he's got his heal up. I'm such an idiot. I wasn't paying attention to his buffs. This is going to be really tough now. I'm in a dangerous situation. I do have him in a binding blade. His heal came back up again, actually. I don't know how. He's definitely really kitey. I gotta get that Ray of Judgment on him. I'm gonna try to get him with the Shield of Wrath as well. He didn't get it. He mitigated a lot of it. He's definitely countering me a lot more. He's got a lot more CC break. Gotta be super careful. Oh no, this is not a position I want to be in right now. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Just trying to get any heal I can right now. Ah, big stun by Airthorn. Oh, he ran into the AoE? Oh no, damn it, Airthorn. Why don't you die? I'm in big trouble here, guys. I'm gonna do everything I can right now. Just big burst. He was able to mitigate most of it. Maybe I can try to get him in a binding blade and then pull him in down into something. That'll be an interesting tactic. This is not going good for me, guys. Oh, lordy, lord. Oh, what happened? Oh, I didn't see the outside AoE. Sometimes it does bug where you don't see the AoE. I don't know if you were watching my map. I don't know if you can see it either. But sometimes it does bug where you only see the interior over here and you don't see the exterior. And I obviously didn't see it and I stood in it and died. So let's move on to our next match here. It's going to be Tygo versus Irma Gerd. That's Gunstruck. That moves forward into the semifinals. Hey, thank you so much for that follow, man. I really appreciate that. Le Trips. Thank you so much, guys. I do these tournaments every single day on the weekdays, probably between 8 and 11. On the weekends, I do them much early to try to catch everybody. It takes two to mango. I'm not sure who this is. Report. No, that's not who I want in there. It's going to be Tygo. So here we go. Let's take a quick look at what Jigen, the Woodsman, is running. He's an AL member and he runs a lot of my tourneys. He's been practicing. He's been getting progressively better every single time I see him. He does a lot of damage. He's running Rune of Rage with Seeker Amulet. He's got Courage and Energy with Courage again and Energy. He's running Longbow with Greatsword. He's running Beast Mastery, Skirmishing, and Soul Beast. And we saw Armagerd earlier before. She was fighting, I believe, the Hollowsmith, yeah, Doom of Light. She's running Invocation, Devastation, and Herald, running Sword. She does have Annulment, and she's also running Staff with Leadership and Marauder. I actually did run with Annulment on mine, and I should have been more attentive on and trying to remove his stability when I was trying to go for any of my CCs. But good play by Airthorn. He's a really talented player. He's been playing that warrior build for a long time. He's kind of like a side noter. So here we go, guys. Game one. This is the last game in our quarterfinals before we start the semis. Or I'll post the challengebracket.com into the Twitch stream so all of you guys can see it as well. As I mentioned, this is a mini tourney. I wasn't supposed to do one. I finished really late. I got home at 11:30 p.m. And then a couple people asked me, so I decided to put it on. Here comes Jigen doing a good job of mitigating, but he's also got to be careful because Umbergood can easily pour it onto him. There is a no port spot in both spawns, and those little blocks in the back are no ports, so he can use those to his advantage. He tries to get the rapid fire off onto her. He tries to get oof, and that's what I'm talking. He lands a really good worldly impact. That was huge, and he's a really bursty ranger, and he's been working on it for a long time. And that worldly impact is a very obvious animation, and it's hard to land, but he was able to land it right there, and especially on a revenant. Really good job by Jigen. He can be very, very dangerous. I've seen him do this once or twice, at least in tourneys, where he would look like he was down and out, and then all of a sudden he just turned on the jets and pow, just annihilated his opponent. Let's see if Ermagerd goes with a little more toughness. No, she's still staying with Marauder. And just for those of you who are watching, the only rules in this tournament are that you cannot change the class you start with and the 3 specs that you have chosen. You can change all your trait lines, your traits inside these lines, but you cannot change from Invocation, Devastation, and Herald. This is what she's locked into. She can change all this, she can change all this, and she can change all this if she so chooses. So there's Mango, the famous kid. We got Anya was in here, Anya's in here, Naru was in here before, Rainy's in here. There's a lot of people that come to see this, and this is just an indication of letting you guys know that this content is desperately needed. I'm trying to give it to you the best I can. I'm really new to shoutcasting, and I try to shoutcast every single day. Even when I do my ranks, I try to shoutcast just to try to get more fluid, so when you guys do come to see it, it sounds a little more professional, and you actually get some little bit of information coming from it. So here we go. Good port by Ermagerd trying to mitigate the damage, but Jigen got the better of the exchange over there. The pet actually doing a good job of keeping her locked down. She's got to try to keep up the pressure, but it's with Jigen, it's really hard, especially when you're trying to land that glint heal or trying to bait that glint heal. It's just really hard because the damage comes so fast. There he goes, but he's got to be careful that the match doesn't get too long because it's not going to favor him as he continues to move forward. He does use his strength of the pack. He's going in for the heavy damage. Good job by mitigating and Ermagerd just staying away while strength of the pack was up. Tries to get the glint heal, ends up using it on the pet, which is still good because that pet does do a lot of damage and can CC and create the opener that he's looking for. Jigen's getting really low, but like I said, he's always very dangerous. He gets the worldly impact. Can he finish? Ermagerd actually gets the glint heal off. Really good job by Ermagerd. Really, really clutch play right there. The camera angle completely screwed me over, guys. I apologize for that. But that was really good. Jigen came in at low health, and that's what he's really good at. When he gets in low health is when it kind of like it's his prime time. People come in for the kill, they get a little complacent, and then he opens up on them, gets the worldly impact, and finishes. He got really close to finishing, but Ermagerd just had that little extra time to pop that glint heal, which she does, mitigating all the damage and being able to just open up on him with free will. Really good job. This is game 2 going into game 3, excuse me. This is the end of our first round, or quarterfinals, excuse me. And we'll be moving into the semifinals right after this. Let me take a look at Ermagerd, see if she's made any changes. Actually, Jigen might be making some. That's probably why he took so long. Let's take a quick look over here. No, I think he still was running Seeker and still running Rune of the Rage. I don't know, maybe you guys know something that I didn't see, but take a look. And I don't have dual monitor, guys, so it's hard for me to come back. Scourges do have a really good chance in 1v1. If you look at my tournament yesterday, in that tournament I had Grimjack, I had Anya, I had Kiba, I had Mad Attacker, I had Anonymous. There was a lot of good people in there, and Naru went up against a lot of them, and he uses Necro, and he dominated. Really, really good play. If you want to see what a Necro can do, check out Naru's stream. He is a dominant Necro. Really good play. So yeah, Necros can be very strong in 1v1. So that's Ermagerd that actually takes that over Jigen. Let me just update the brackets over here, guys. So our first match in the semifinals is going to be, ooh, this is going to be a good one. Really good one. It's going to be Fireweaver versus Fireweaver. Sarista has been doing really good in the tournament so far, dominating a lot of the 2 really strong players and moving through them very easily. So it's Sarista versus Artemis Flame. These are the 2 Fireweavers. I believe they're both still in here. Yeah, there's Sip My Ocean, and there's Christy. I don't know why I keep saying Sarista. I guess that's her account name. Yeah, Saristia. Now let's take a look. I think there are mirror builds. Fire, Arcane, and Weaver. She's running Sword Focus with Sigil Cleansing and Energy. Sanctuary with Sage. Yep, Sanctuary with Sage. Energy with Cleansing. Focus Sword. Yeah, focus sword. Let's take a look at Artemis's build over here. Fire, arcane, and weaver. Looks very similar to what they're running. Exactly what they're running. So this is a complete mirror matchup. Let's see who the winner of who the best weaver may the best weaver win. Actually, there's a couple differences in their utility, I believe. Nope, they're exactly the same. I'm going to take a look at Artemis over here. Artemis has always been a really dominant weaver in my eyes. She's really, really strong, knows how to combo well. She's got good eyes, watching the animations. He doesn't use cooldowns too easily, and doesn't get baited into them too often. But Christy doing a really good job of just kind of standing away and just pew-pewing from far. This is probably going to go to the map mechanic in my eyes. I'm pretty sure of that. Semi Ocean is actually getting, or Christie is actually getting the better of the exchange between these two right now, which is actually quite impressive. They've been doing a really, really, really good job. They've been dominating most of their matches. I think I've seen Christie in one or two of my tournaments recently. As I do them more and more and more and more, I get more and new people coming in, and I really like that because I'm sure there's some strong players out there that haven't been noticed, that don't play ranked, and this is one way for me to find them. They just join and they try to test their skill against other people, and sometimes I find these monsters hiding under rocks. Really, really nice to see, and I think Christy is one of them. Maybe you guys know Christy, but I definitely don't, and they're very, very, very strong. And like I mentioned, Artemis Flame is no joke. She's a very strong weaver. So for her to put up this type of battle against her is saying something. Ermagerd. Will Christy be my new mom? Map chat. I don't really regulate map chat. It would just be too much of an issue for me. I don't want to be the police, so I just kind of let people do whatever they want in map chat. So Discord or Twitch is something I try to regulate a little more. But the BM is flying always in map chat. But right now it's really good. Everybody's being really civil. They're just joking with each other. Really cool. And as I do these more and more, here we go, guys. 5 seconds left on the cooldown. Sit my ocean, trying to get some big damage onto Christie. So here we go. This is where everything changes. The barrier is going to be huge because that's all they have to sustain. They're both trying to keep the pressure. Christie putting some big pressure onto Artemis. Artemis trying to mitigate the damage as best she can, but she's not doing a good job right now. Chrissy's doing a really good job of keeping the bleeds up. Artemis has got to turn on the pressure. She does have the barrier, so she can be a little more aggressive if she so chooses. Gets caught in the stun, but breaks right out of it. Oh my goodness. I actually wish Grimjack was was shoutcasting this because he'd know exactly what's going on right here. Grimjack's one of the best Ellies that I know of. He's probably the best Ellie in NA for sure. And he also streams. He gives out a lot of good information. Here comes the map mechanic. They're both really low. This could go anywhere right now. Oh my god. This is all up to the map mechanic. Who gets eaten by the map mechanic first? And there's no misting. And that's Christy that takes it. That was really, really epic. That was really epic. Great job by Artemis Flame. She was in the deficit during the beginning of that match. She was able to regroup herself, get the good counter, and then put the damage onto Sip My Ocean, pretty much bringing it down to a downstate fight. That was really, really impressive by both competitors. Now we're going to be going into game 2. I'm pretty sure one of these guys is going to win the tournament. There's no doubt in my mind. But actually, on the other side of this, we do have Gunstrek and Ermagerd, which are both really strong competitors as well. I don't know who's going to bring the best advantage to Fireweaver, but Fireweaver is really strong right now. Once again, guys, I'll take this time to thank you for watching. I really, really appreciate this. I do these every single day. Check out my highlights videos. You'll see one for every single day. I really appreciate it if you click that follow or subscribe just to kind of give me that pat on the back. Let me know I'm doing the right job. Either way, thank you for watching, guys. And here we go into game 2. This one is going to be epic. I don't think Christie's made any changes. Still looks the same. Still looks the same. Let's take a look at Artemis. I don't think she's made any changes. Still looks the same. Still looks the same. There's my main man Naru. He's really helpful in my tournaments as well. He also streams as well if you guys want to check it out. That was the Necro I was telling you about. The best Necro NA for sure. Maybe even in EU. I don't know the EU guys very well, so I can't really say that, but I know an NA for sure. So here you go, Sip My Ocean engaging already, but this is probably going to go to the map mechanic, so it's kind of like they're just, oh my goodness gracious, good damage by Artemis. She's getting the sustain though, or getting the CC up onto Artemis was a good job by Christy in order to build some distance, push that W button, get some cools downs, regain some of the health, get some barrier up, and try to counter pressure onto Artemis, which is doing a really good job. One of the good ways to get them away from you or try to build some CC is just to try to counter pressure. Good job right now. They're just kind of Artist is actually getting some good damage onto Christy. Maybe Christy's being a little complacent, but Artemis is doing a really good job. I'm not sure if she changed anything with her build. Maybe you guys can tell me if she did, but it doesn't look like she has. This fucking map view is annoying. They gotta fix that shit, man. Holy moly. Sid My Ocean is now chasing. 45 seconds left in this match. This is a best of 3 series, and our finals is going to be a best of 3. There is no third place. This is just a quick mini 1v1 that I'm trying to conduct. I wasn't supposed to do them today, but I decided to it because a lot of people were asking, so here I am giving to the people. Christy just trying to run away. I think they're just waiting for the cooldown now, waiting for the cooldowns. Yeah, you can see Artemis just kind of standing there. She's just going kite. What are you doing? And that's a tactic that people can choose to use. Good job by Artemis getting the big burning and getting a little bit of that chill up as well. Now here we go. There's 0 seconds left on the timer. Christy's really, really low. Good heal at the end there. That was really clutch. Artemis doing a good job of keeping the pressure on her. Now the barrier is starting to subside, and now Artemis looks like she's in a really, really good position. She does not want to be losing to her counter, or not her counter, but her mirror class. She wants to stay the dominant. Christy doing a good job of mitigating a lot of the damage, but so is Artemis. And Christy looks like they're in big trouble here unless they good CC. Artemis breaks out of it. She does have a little bit of burning. Christy does have a little bit of bleeding. Oh my god, it's going to go exactly the same way. Oh no, here we go. Oh, that's that magnetism field in Earth 5. And he's dead. That's Artemis that takes game 2. Ooh, here we go. Game 3. I think this is our third game 3 in this tournament so far. After this series, guys, we're going to have Irma Kurd versus Arathorn Stark. Sorry guys, I'm just replying to my coworker. He cut himself really bad with an X-Acto, and I told him he had to go to the doctor. He refused. He just taped it up with green tape and kept working, and it's a very dirty environment we were working in, and it ended up getting infected. He has to go to the doctor. He's an idiot. Alright guys, here we go into game 3. Let's take a look at Christy right here. Still looks the same. I'm not sure how Artemis was able to get that so much damage down. Much different Artemis than the first round. That's for sure. I guess that just lit the fire under her and she just came out like a madman or a mad woman. Really good job by Artemis. Really good job by Christy though as well. Really putting up a good fight, going all the way down to the cooldown, or going all the way down to the map mechanic. And even in their first fight, they both went into downstate. Even the map mechanic was coming all the way up to the top. That's how much sustain these classes have. Good CC by Artemis, trying to get the pressure down onto Christy, mitigating all of those condies and damage. But she is going through some cooldowns in the process, and that's kind of what Artemis is trying to force. This way it makes her a little softer when she's ready to come for her second burst. Their cooldowns are very, very quick, and they can resustain very quickly. Artemis doing a really good job now, just keeping that pressure up. Christy has no response. The swirling winds has been pot up to mitigate most of those projectiles. Now Christy trying to put some pressure onto Artemis, but is not able to keep those burning stuck onto her. And Artemis is doing a much better job of keeping those burns and landing those stacks. Like a swirling winds again, gets her in the CC. Artemis is able to negate all that damage, turns back right onto her and tries to turn and burn, and that's exactly what you need to do. Once they're getting too aggressive, you gotta try to turn on them. Especially when Christy's using a lot of their cooldowns, she mitigated most of it and then just opened up on her hard. This is probably going to go to the cooldown again, but I'm really excited. This match has been very, very entertaining, in my opinion at least. We got 35 seconds left in the map mechanic. Good job by Artemis, just mitigating all that. She's really focusing now, really watching the animations, keeping an eye on Chrissy, just keeping the pressure. She's definitely the aggressor in this match. Chrissy's just trying to get some space, trying to wait for that cooldown timer. So that's probably her best advantage at this time. A lot of burns stacked up. Artemis is mitigating a lot of those actually. Now this is the last 5 seconds. This is where you want to kind of put pressure onto the opponent just before they heal. Artemis trying to do so, but not able to getting any damage down. And now this is pretty much they're both starting at square one, but with no heals. This time the map mechanic is involved, and I'm sure it's going to encroach all the way onto the top. And positioning is going to be crucial. Where you die or where you land when that AOE is coming is going to make all the difference. And remember, this is 1-1 series. The loser is out. This is the semifinals. The winner is going to the finals. Chrissy taking some big damage. Artemis doing a good job of mitigating. And now they're starting to encroach onto the top, and they got to be really careful. They still have a lot of health. Artemis taking a lot of burning damage over there. Chrissy doing a good job of stacking that. Oof, this doesn't look good for Artemis at the moment. She does have barrier up. She's got to watch out for that AoE. And it's starting to encroach really, really small and putting them in a bad position. Christy really down now. Oh my god, what's going to happen? Christy's really low. Now it all depends on the death. Oh, you see Artemis fell out into the AoE too quickly. She is the one who ends up dying first. And there you go. And as I mentioned, when it comes to the map mechanic and it gets that close, it really matters on where you're standing. And that's why I like the map mechanic, because some people think, oh, this class is going to win easy peasy, no problem. But when the map mechanic comes in, the entire dynamic of the duel changes. That was actually Artemis that lost, and Sarista that moved forward. Really good job by Sarista. Now we have Gunstrap versus Ermagerd. Let me just see where Arathorn is. Artemis is upset. I'm not really upset. She's just like, I should have won. I downed them first. So here we go. Let's take a quick look at Arathorn's start. If you guys haven't seen him, he's running that really trolly warrior build. He runs something very unique, in my opinion. He's running with the Great Sword, Dagger, and Shield. He's got Demolisher with Rune of Leadership, Energy, and Annulment. He's running Cleansing and Energy. So it requires a little Tire, Discipline, Defense, and Spellbreaker. Let's take a quick look at Ermagerd. She's running the regular Revenant, Invocation, Devastation, and Herald. She's running Staff, Sword, Annulment with Exploitation, Sigil of Energy and Cleansing, Leadership, and Marauder. So here we go. She's just got to try to avoid, but Arathorn does have a lot of sustain. And he's kind of using the same heal she's using, but it's kind of like damage. Yeah, exactly the same style of heal, if you will. Good job by Ermagerd mitigating most of that damage. Arathorn goes for a heal. Ermagerd noticing the heal, but it's already too late. He's already been fully topped up. She tries to get the Glen Elite, but doesn't get successful with it. Glen Elite is really hard to hit. Very slow, huge animation. But sometimes you can if you set it up with a good CC. Like you could have done there. The big knockdown and then the glint heal at least force him to dodge. It was a stupid map mechanic. Artemis is not content. She's definitely going to come back for another one. This fucking map view, bro. My god. Fix it already, please. Arathorn going into Rampage, trying to put some pressure onto Ermagerd. Ermagerd doing a really good job of mitigating most of the damage coming out of Berserker. Literally, it was a useless Berserker right there. Excellent job by Ermagerd mitigating. But this is also the position that Arathorn wants. She has used a lot of her CC, a lot of her mitigation, a lot of her stun break, and now she's kind of softened up a bit, but he's not able to counter and put the pressure onto her. She's doing a really good job of kiting. She does have the port to go up and down whenever she needs to, so Arathorn's got to be careful when he engages. He doesn't want to get caught flat-footed. This one's got about 10 seconds left in the map mechanic. I'm not sure who it's going to go to. Arathorn doesn't have the advantage of his heal. He is really low in health. There's only 5 seconds left in the map mechanic. He has no way to heal. Let's see if he's going to pop it, actually. Nope. And that's it for she actually gets him in the shackling wave. Really good job. He gets her in the CC and the arcing slice. That was fucking huge, especially considering that the map mechanic is involved and there's no more healing. She's got to be really careful trying to get him in the stun. He gets her with a good dagger stab. She's got to be really careful of Arathorn Stark right now. She fakes the glint elite, I believe. That was a fake of the glint elite. I believe that was Jade wins. Oh, Ermagerd falling into the AoE, but so is Arathorn Stark. Oh, no, Arathorn Stark gets it. Yeah, really good jukes by Pepper. That's Ermagerd. She did a really good job. She completely nullified that Rampage. I don't think he was able to land a single hit, but that was really, really, really top tier stuff. I really enjoyed that. Good job, Ermagerd. Now we're going into game 2 of this series. That could have gone any way, I think. This is all you got to be careful. She got hit with that big arcing slice, what put a lot of pressure onto her, and that's what forced her to get on the defensive, and I think that's what created that momentum shift. And we allowed Arathorn to just kind of free will open up on her and just keep chasing, and she's just trying to get away. But that was probably a bad move. Maybe she should have just turned and burned, but hindsight's 50-50, as they say. Oh, sorry guys. This camera angle. I don't want to do any more tourneys on this goddamn map. I swear to God. Good job by Ermagerd getting the better exchange over there, but Arathorn has a lot of. He does have his heal up. She tried to go in for the damage. She wasn't She wasn't watching his heals or watching his buff bar too well. She ended up healing him up all the way up, mitigating or nullifying all the hard work that she did at the beginning on that first encounter. He's got his shield up just to try to get some distance. He's probably waiting for some cooldowns to take a look at Arathorn really quick. Oh, that's not Arathorn. This is Arathorn right here. He still has his Rampage. He's waiting for a couple cooldowns. And he tries to kite a lot. Should always keep his Defiant Stance up. So he'll do his damage, use his Defiant Stance, and then back away a bit. Wait for the cooldown of his Defiance. Put some more pressure to try to make them kite away. And then his Defiant Stance is up. And then he goes in for the damage, as you saw right there. But he also combos it really well against Condis. He'll use his Rune of Resistance. He has not Rune of Resistance, but he has something for his Resistance. And then after the Resistance is up, he'll pop his Defiant Stance. Really good job by Ermagerd right now. She's got to take advantage, but Arathorn starts wisely going into Rampage, knowing that she's not going to engage him while he's in Rampage. She actually does try to get some damage onto him, but this is a really good spot for Arathorn Stark. He does have his Defiant Stance. He did try to get the Arcing Slice. I think he's going to go for the Breaching Strike. Yes, he does, but he misses it. Good job by Ermagerd mitigating that. She's under a lot of pressure right now. Let's see if her heal is going to be coming up. Oof. Doesn't look good right now. Arathorn taking some big damage from Ermagerd. Ermagerd doing a really good job of turning and burning, but she is really low herself. She's got to be really careful. Arathorn is trying to go in for the kill, and his Defiant Stance is coming up pretty quick. Actually lands the Glint Elite. Arathorn got a little complacent and was just trying to get the kill, so he wasn't looking at the dodge, and he actually got hit by the Glint Elite. That was the first time he was hit by it. Oh no, Ermagerd falling into the AoE, but so is Arathorn. He almost got stuck. This could be the change. Gets him the shackling wave. Oh my god. Oh no, Ermagerd. Watch out. Watch out, Ermagerd. Oh, she does get away. Oh no. He doesn't have his vengeance just yet. Is the AoE going to be able to get him before the vengeance? No, he does get vengeance. Oh, that's over. That was really epic. Really good job by Ermagerd at the end there. Really just turning up the pressure and turning it onto Gunstrike. It looked like he was going to have it, but she was able to turn the pressure and get back on him. And now we're going to have our finals here. It's a best of 3 series. Gunstrike versus Sarista. Arathorn Stark thought he won the tournament already. He was already gloating and praising himself in mid-map chat. And then someone said, you have to fight an ally now, genius. So here we go. Mr. Karista, or Christy, sorry. I don't know why I keep saying Karista. That's because of her account name. Sage Amulet, look, she's still running the same thing. Fire, Arcane, and Weaver. Let's take a quick look at Arathorn Stark over here. Discipline, Defense, and Spellbreaker. He's also running with Greatsword, Dagger, and a Shield. Sigil of Cleansing with Energy, Sigil of Annulment with Sigil of Agility, Leadership, and Demolisher. Here we go, guys. This is the finals, best of 3 series. And it's going to be 60 gold to the winner, 40 gold to second place. I think Christy has the advantage in this. Yeah, those stacks are bleeding, but like I said, he has that resistance up. After his resistance goes up, he'll use his Defiant Stance usually if he gets enough Condi on him. Here's the Defiant Stance. And then he just comes in for the pressure, but he's not able to get any big pressure onto Christie, so his Rune of resistance is gone, his Defiant Stance is gone, and now it's her turn to open up the damage on him. He doesn't have much. He usually goes kiting by now. He gets her in the Whirlwind, but he's not able to put any damage onto Christie. It doesn't look good for Arathorn Stark. He's trying everything he can. Even in Rampage, he's not. She's just shaking it all off pretty much. Map chat's pretty funny. Sorry guys, I got a little distracted there. Arathorn doing a really good job of mitigating the damage and coming back all the way up to full, getting the big whirlwind onto Christie, putting the heavy pressure, tries to go for the rush, but that was kind of like a fake. Not sure how he ported back up there, that was interesting. Maybe that was just a glitch on my screen, I'm not sure. Arathorn doing a really good job so far. He's moved through all his opponents. He got really close in a couple matches. Really good nail biters. This might be just too much of a tall order for him. He dozed into his Defiant Stance. Christie's got to be a little more careful about that. You got to try to bait him into using that Defiant Stance. There's only 5 seconds left now. I don't think this goes into Arathorn's advantage. I definitely think this is going to be in Christie's advantage, but he does have his Rune of Resistance or his Berserker Stance coming up. I keep calling it a Rune of Resistance for some reason. Ooh, a lot of stacks, but he did use the rune, but he doesn't have the Defiant Stance anymore, so that's going to be big trouble for him. I don't know if he knows about his heal. We're going to see if he uses his heal. Yep. He tries to go for a Defiant Stance, but unknowingly to him, he can't have any heals from it. He's doing a really good job of pressuring Christie, though. Oh my goodness, gets him in the big whirlwind. Arathorn's really close right now. Looks like Christie might have the advantage, though. She's getting the burning down on him. Arathorn's just got to get some big damage if he can. He tries the Breaching Strike, doesn't get it. Goes for the Shield Stun, doesn't get it. He tries the Whirlwind. It's really close. They're fighting toe to toe. He goes for. Oh my god. Arathorn Stark gets down on Christie. He takes game 1. Oh my god. Arathorn Stark. One more game and he's our 1v1 champion, Arathorn. Using the really custom build. He's been using this build for a very long time. Ever since I've known him, he's been running something very similar to this. This Defiant Stance is like a well-known trait of Arathorn. Here we go, game two, guys. This is gonna be good. Is Arathorn Stark gonna take it away from Christy? Here we go, guys. Let's see if Christy made any changes to their build. Nope, still. I think she would change for Rune of the Smoldering over here on her sigil. Oh, the prize for this. I'm just gonna let these guys. Here we go, Christy versus Arathorn Stark. She's doing a really good job here. It's going to go down to the map mechanic, I'm sure. Arathorn Stark did a really good job as well. Like I said, he likes to use that Berserker stance and then the Defiance stance to kind of mitigate a lot of Condi for a long period of time. It's almost 12 seconds of complete Condi mitigation. He's trying to keep the pressure. Christy's trying to get the Smoldering to stack a little harder. Arathorn just kind of staying back, and same with Christy, kind of just staying back. It looks like it's going to go into the map mechanic. Oof. Yeah, they're both waiting for the map mechanic. They know what's going to happen. They know where it's all the action's going to be at. They're just going to re-sustain each other for the entire duration of this match. So they're both just waiting until that map mechanic. They might engage in the last 20 seconds, maybe a little earlier, but what you really want to try to do, here goes Christy trying to engage on Arathorn, getting some good stacks of burning on him, but he pops his Rune of the Berserker, mitigating a lot of that. Good job by Christy, but that's why she's got to try to bait out the Rune of the Berserker, not the Rune, but the Berserker stance, and she's got to try to bait out the Defiance stance, but that's a really tall order. Here we go, 30 seconds left. Good job by Arathorn getting the big burst onto Christy. Christy's in big trouble. Arathorn does have the 6 stacks of burning, but there you go with his Rune of the Rune. I keep calling it that. And for this, guys, it's going to be 60 gold to the winner and 40 gold to second place. And this is only a mini 1v1. I usually do a lot more participants. I capped it at 12, and I usually do a third place, but I'm only doing first and second. The AT is coming up if you guys want to watch. I'm going to be joining Anya and Naru in the AT if you guys are interested in watching that. They graciously invited me to join them, so I think it's going to be really entertaining. Here we go, Arathorn. Oh my goodness. Oh no, Christy falling into the AoE. Really bad. Oh no, Christy. That was bad news for Christy, but she can still recover from this. Arathorn falling into the AoE himself, and Christy actually takes game 2. What a turn of events this match has become. Oh my goodness, what is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Christy falls into the AoE, takes over 10k of damage, ends up coming back into the top node where it looks like it's Arathorn, all Arathorn, and then he ends up falling into the AoE and killing himself, bringing this finals into the last match, 1-1 series, winner take all. Actually, not winner take all. Second place gets 40 gold, and first place gets 60. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you like this type of content, just click that follow or subscribe and you'll be able to know when I do these. I do them almost every single day. If you look below the video, you'll see a little bit about me, my daily schedule, and what I bring to the table. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Here we go. Game 3 of our finals. This is the last one. And as I mentioned, I wasn't going to do one today. I finished work really late, but a bunch of people asked me and I was like, you know what, let's do it. But I capped it at 12. I didn't want any more than that, and I'm not doing a third place just to try to get it over and actually bring you guys something. The people ask, and I shall give it to them. bets Dark Balls again. This is probably going to go to the map mechanic again, so it's just going to be dawdling around, just kind of kiting around each other, trying to get some counter pressure. Yeah, not much action going on. They're just kind of dancing around each other, but once that map mechanic hits, it's going to be super interesting. So far, they have yet to disappoint. It was a really good first match. Aerothrone took it. Then Christie, that was some weird, I don't know what was happening there, but that ended in a whirlwind. They're both still kind of dancing each other, waiting and waiting and waiting. He's got the Berserker. No, he doesn't. He's actually going to take a lot of this damage. No, there's the Defiant Stance. It's finally run out, but he actually goes for the Rune of the Berserker. Did he pop the Rune of the Berserker? Yeah, he did. Berserker Stance, not Rune of the Berserker. I keep saying that. I'm just getting tired, guys. He goes for the shield. Good job by Christie, not going in on the engage with the shield. Tries to get the Trailblaze. Is that the Trailblaze? What's it called? Yeah, pretty sure it's called Trailblaze. We got 30 seconds left to this map mechanic. This is where things are going to start to get interesting. And they also have, they got to try to put a little bit of pressure just before the map mechanic. Not too early and not too late. Just around anywhere between 5 and 10 seconds is when you want to try to burst them down to get some big damage. So that when the map mechanic does hit, they're not able to re-sustain themselves from that. None of them are looking to do so. Christie might try to re-engage. She's in a dangerous spot though. She doesn't want to be under there. She does pour it up. Really good job trying to get the extra burning and damage onto Aerothorn. Not able to connect with much. She does get a little bit of the burning, but he's already got the Berserker Stance popped. No, I think it's a Rune of Resistance or some sort of resistance that he's getting. Now there's the Berserker Stance. He goes into Rampage. Save the Rampage for the actual end of the match, which is a really smart move. He's able to mitigate a lot of damage and get her to use a lot of cooldowns. She has no ability to kite. She can't go anywhere. She's kind of stuck in that spot. He gets him with the Whirlwind, but they're both kind of toe-to-toe for exchange and both toe-to-toe on for... oh, but Aerothorn's not able to get rid of those bleeds, and he doesn't have the Defiant Stance anymore. Berserker is coming up. He hasn't used it yet. I guess he's waiting for a little more burns. He's trying to get the Breaching Strike down. He misses on the Breaching Strike. He does pop his Berserk. He's trying to get the damage. Gets the Arcing Slice. Oh my god. Aerothorn Stark gets the down. It's not over yet. Oh my god. Oh my god. Aerothorn Stark's going to lose. Oh, he ends up winning. Aerothorn Stark. What an epic finish. He almost kills himself in the AoE. Ends up sustaining. Here, let me send these guys their gold. Send mail. 60 gold. That's for you, sir. And for Saristi. Oh, damn it. Where are you, Christy? You get 40 gold for that. That was epic.